very close game one, and Zaun ended up winning. And now we're going into game two, and we got a couple of legends. We got the man himself, Cupcake Trap, and from way back in Sean's On, if anyone besides me and Quan were playing back in Sean's On, we got For It.
For It. Also, I think For It, like, for some reason, I remember him, he played Master Yi up against a Riven in lane, right? And then he would always cue the Riven ult, and Riven was like high tier, this was a Riven main. So, yeah.
That's
all I really remember him for. It was like 1 or 2 games, that's all. Yeah.
Was the Riven, was it Non?
It was Non.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
It was Non.
Yeah, so...
That was when I first started factions, like 4 years ago. I was like, whoa, streams, people.
Exactly, that was me, yeah. That was me my first join. Now I'm running the streams, I'm just like, it's no big deal. Back then, it's like, what?
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to see this. I wonder how he'll match up against Evil Shadow specifically, because Shadow's playing mid lane this time, so that's going to be pretty snowbally. I'd feel bad for whoever goes up against him.
He was also threatening to pull out the Katarina in the lobby. If he does, all I have to say to the Zaun players...
He does pick the Katarina.
Alright, to Zaun, you may be my enemy because I signed up for Noxus, but may God have mercy on your souls. You have my sympathy for the sheer just insanity you're about to experience. You're just gonna be dead. You're just gonna be walking around, like stepping out of fountain, then you're gonna be dead. It's just not gonna be fun.
I've never actually seen Shadow play Katarina, like personally, so I'm pretty excited to witness it as well.
It's not fair. It should be outlawed by Riot. Riot should just be like, Evil Shadow on Katarina is not allowed. It just breaks all possible fairness.
I do wonder who they'll send up against Shadow in the mid lane.
It's looking most likely like they'll send For It, just because they have their jungle, ADC, and support locked in, assuming Rextref locks in his Jaina. And then that would leave either Cupcake or For It to try fight him in mid lane. Oh, maybe?
Oh, it's an Echo. Echo top, Echo mid, who knows?
Yeah. I mean, what would you say is to, Echo trying to take on Katarina? How do you think that would be?
Echo has no instant hard CC, right? He has the stun, but it'll take a while. Katarina also has a lot of mobility, so I will give it to if it was an even matchup, I would give it to the Katarina, actually.
I mean,
but Echo can play safe, so.
He can get out of the Katarina ult by popping his own, but she has the Grievous Wound, so he won't be able to actually heal that much. She still has Grievous Wounds, right? I know they've slowly been removing Grievous Wounds.
But she has Ignite, so that'll cover it.
Yeah. Either way, yeah. I know, like, they've been, like, slowly removing all the champions that apply Grievous Wounds in their kit. I remember, like, Varus used to have it, or maybe Varus still does, but I know, like, they've slowly taken off a number of champions.
I think. I don't know if he still has it, but I know that he used to.
Yeah. So, looking like a Kled jungle. I mean, I've tried Kled jungle. I don't think it works all that great, but that might just be me.
Personal opinion, I hate Kled. He's extremely overpowered. I'd love to ban him every game. I think first of all, his tether will reveal Akali and Shroud, which is broken.
A little bias, I think, there.
There's my bias, alright? His engage is strong. His overall damage, his output is also extremely... You don't expect it. You don't expect Colette to do damage, but he does. And then he has animation frames that make him invincible when he jumps off his little mounts.
Yeah.
So, yeah, extremely powerful.
Now, they do lose the big Scion tank in doing that, which is a huge part of Noxus's powerful team fight that was helping them in game one. But with maybe they don't actually want to go for the big team fight now, just because you see Zaun has changed up their comp considerably. Now they got the Zac, who has some insane CC right now with the rework. They got Mundo for a lot of tankiness, and they got Warwick's. And so Zaun's team fight really stepped up this game. So maybe swapping away from the Scion and the heavy team fight is smart, just because they're realizing they may not want to take Zaun on, with Zaun now being tank town like they're supposed to be.
Right. With Zac, I still haven't seen him. I saw like a highlight clip where he jumped into people and then he cast Dart and then he brought like the entire enemy team with him using his ultimate. So that was cool.
He was Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go on.
I was just saying that Zac was in games 2 and 3 yesterday. If you had seen those, you would have seen the new Zac.
Yeah, my bad. I had lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. So there we go. We're into the spectate delay. But yeah.
I see. Is CCT running Mundo support?
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's trying to recreate the ever feared bot lane that Son of Till and Nagarok pulled out in Hextech with the Jinx Mundo bot lane. That I don't think anyone ever found a way to answer that. No one could ever beat it. The only time where it was actually, in a sense, defeated, but not really defeated, was in one of the tournament games. I remember I was on Demacia. We did a lane swap, and it's like, okay, we're not going to beat them, so we might as well try to get our ADC and support out of there and have them beat on some other poor soul solo. It's like that was like
you just assume you'll lose lane. So.
It wasn't an assumption. It was every possible evidence was showing there was no way to beat this bot lane. There was Son of Till on Jinx and Nagarok on Mundo in the bot lane, and it was just you couldn't. There was no one had any answer for it other than finally we were just like, all right, we won't try to beat it. We'll just try to avoid that lane and do a lane swap.
Right, and we have Forit playing Warwick in top lane. I don't know how well Warwick does in a solo lane. I remember before his rework, he had mana problems. This time, it might go well, because generally when reworks happen, mana costs go down.
Yeah. We'll see. I mean, so it's going to be against the Swain. And definitely I think Swain's going to struggle pre-6. Warwick should be able to give Swain a lot of grief before 6. And then once 6 happens, it's definitely most likely going to be Warwick that's going to be initiating the fights, because he can just jump in with ult on the Swain and put a ton of damage on him before Swain can even pop his ult and get that drain going. And so I think post-6 Warwick's going to be able to also bully the Swain, and so I think he's going to have the advantage basically all of lane because of that. Like pre-6, when you don't have ultimates, Swain just doesn't really have much that lets him fight. And then post-6, like Warwick's just able to just jump on Swain before he can pop the ult, and he's going to put too much damage down too quickly for Swain to respond. So I think that's looking good for Zaun in the top lane. Mid lane, we already talked about. We already kind of agreed to give that to the Katarina. Jungle,
right, but Echo can play safe. So
he can play safe, yeah.
I hope Echo plays safe. Yeah.
Though he most likely he'll fall behind even if he does play safe, just because he'll probably lose CS in doing so. But then for the jungle. Oh, you want to do bot lane?
Oh, jungle? Yeah, let's go over jungle.
Jungle, this is, from my experience, the only time I've seen jungle play was when I just derped and decided to try it one time and it did not go well. So in my experience, jungle clip doesn't work. That could just be me being bad at it, But so just from that and from experiencing
post-6, Kled could gank with his ult, and pre-6, he could gank using his tether thing.
Yeah.
Which should be good enough for ganking. I don't know how well his clear goes.
Well,
it probably isn't that good, but...
Like, when I did it, it was like you lose Skarl in the jungle, clearing the jungle camps. And then
that's not good.
And then you can't really gank without Skarl because you no longer have the, that tether, and you don't have your
Wait.
dash.
Then what's the point of Kled jungle if you lose Skarl?
Exactly. It's like you need Skarl, and you can't get Skarl back unless you attack a champion, and attacking jungle monsters isn't really helping you.
Wait, so alright, good luck, Hal, with Kled jungle. Hoping to see great things from it. Because clearly, we don't think highly of Kled jungle right now.
I mean, maybe they'll be good enough and just only do minimal clearing of the jungle, because you only have a couple potions, so you just use those potions, make sure you don't drop, so you don't lose Skarl, and then just focus on ganking once you run out of potions, so you can try to be relevant that way. Yeah.
Whoa, wait, do you see that ribbon on top of the Mundo portrait? The green one?
I do not see a
There's
ribbon.
like a little... Not a ribbon, there's like a green...
Oh, the ribbon! Yeah, that's... Don't you remember the honor ribbons? No one gives out honor anymore.
Do those still exist? I haven't seen one of those in like years.
So how it works is you have to have gotten a certain number of honor points within your last 50 games or something. I'm not sure the exact number of games, but you have to maintain those honor points. You can't just get a million honor points and then have that ribbon forever. You have to have gone them within your last so many games, and no one gives them out anymore. No one honors people anymore, and so it's pretty hard to keep it up. But
I used to have a teamwork ribbon 4 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, when it first came out, I got honorable opponent, and then I got teamwork, and then I got friendly, and then I got helpful, and then I swapped to another one, and then I swapped to another one, and then they all just disappeared because they realized it was too easy for people to get because everyone was getting them, so they made it harder to get. And then after the newity of it wore off, people stopped giving it out, and so now no one has it. And I guess Cupcake, he has kind of the advantage in keeping it because he doesn't play League that often, so he has less games. So because it's I'm not sure the exact number, but it's your 50 most recent games. Cupcake doesn't play that much, so he doesn't have to he doesn't have to worry about having a ton of games that he plays where no one gives him out anymore. He can go back to a lot of games way back when people did give him out.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Right. I'm really loving the start from Random Nom taking up that Duran shield.
Yeah.
If it was solo queue, and you told me that I had a Twitch Dr. Mundo going up against a Draven Morgana, I'll tell you, the Draven Morgana is going to win that lane early on. So going Duran shield will help mitigate the early game disadvantage that they have, especially with a Mundo support that hasn't played too many League games recently.
Yeah.
So yeah, good adaptation.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's, I mean, you never see a bot lane take Duran shield, but it definitely could pay out.
I guess it's pretty similar to the idea of why you take the armor boots. What are those called on ADC?
Oh yeah, Ninja Tabby. I saw the Jinx had them in the first game.
Yeah, both ADCs actually went Ninja Tabby in the first game, so that was cool.
Oh, Draven did too? I didn't see that. I thought...
Yeah, Draven did too.
So Swain trying to harass with his ranged auto attacks. Warwick goes in, gets a bite. Swain pops down that crow, trades some good damage. Echo hits the level 2 early, starts being aggressive. Wow, really good job there. Realizing, yeah, if I Katarina, Evil Shadow Katarina might be scary, but that doesn't change the fact that if I'm level 2 and he's level 1, I can kind of bully him. And so he made sure he got that early level 2. There's a lot of damage down.
Dark Ring is a little bit disrespectful on Katarina.
Yeah, you can say that. Just like, you know, I'm Evil Shadow, I'm on Katarina, I'm just gonna grab Dark Ring. Hops, yeah, so yeah, Katarina
Rex
hops.
is doing... Yeah, Rex is doing a pretty good job winning this lane. 10 to 4 CS, he is getting the lane priority. This is pretty standard though for Katarina.
And they're trading pretty well. Random Nom gets some good damage on the Draven there. He also takes quite a bit himself, but able to keep up in the trading at least. Mundo missing the cleaver. Come on, Mundo. Oh!
As a melee support, you gotta hit those minions, man. Gotta get those Targon procs.
Yeah.
It's not good to be at max stacks as support. Like, if you're running Targons.
It's Targons or Spell Thieves. You want both of them. You always want to be burning those procs. Like, Targons, you can save it so you have, like, one of them. Like, so you can get either, like, you know, the Candyman for the extra gold, or save it like you want to save that just in case you need some healing later. But you definitely don't want to be sitting at max stacks. That's just, you know, inefficient gold-wise.
Right.
Top lane,
Compared to the
Warwick.
last game, like, there's no summoner spell usage. There's
Yeah.
not a bunch of early skirmishes.
Mid lane, fighting happening. Hops out of the stun field, flashing away, flashes after first blood.
my.
Will the minions? Oh, the revenge by the minions! Oh, okay. So
First blood going to the Echo.
yeah, but I think
Really good for Echo.
I think the first blood gold when it's this early on is kind of canceled out by the small bounty you get from the revenge kill. So it roughly evens out when because you know first blood scales up by how long it takes to get it. And so this was a pretty early first blood. It's not worth that much. So the bounty, it's not a big bounty obviously, but the bounty Katarina got by getting the revenge kill kind of cancels out. So even trade.
Right, looking at the gold, we see Echo's 200 gold up on
Oh, Cupcake in trouble. Nom using the heal, saving his life, but now he's in trouble, taking a lot of damage from the Draven. Draven gonna take a tower shot. Nom and Cupcake
This is what
very
we
low.
see.
Here comes Katarina! No,
Oh,
Cupcake!
that's
No,
not good.
Cupcake! No! Cupcake, why? I love you, Cupcake. Why do evil have to be so mean?
He is evil.
Yeah, he is evil. He does directly state.
It's in his name.
I was hiding.
Knife type Pokemon overpowered.
Good flash by random, getting out of the 3-man dive bot.
And also being smart, like not popping it too early. It'd be very tempting to just try to flash out there as fast as possible. Instead, he waited for Katarina to burn that Shumpo and therefore lose her mobility and ability to chase him down.
On the other hand, Echo does get a CS lead. That's
Yeah.
doubling the CS 30 to 14 right now, so he still maintains a gold advantage as well as some damage on the tower.
But Katarina got those stacks on her Dark Seal. Oh, that's another factor
Yeah,
going into that revenge kill. The first blood for the revenge kill is because Katarina died first and then picked up the kill. She keeps the stacks on her Dark Seal. So
It's true.
it was actually
Maybe
calculated.
dying second was, yeah.
It was
calculated. Dying first.
Yeah. Oh, Echo, he gets the level 6, goes in, and really, he's doing a really good job realizing the level advantages. Like, he was like, alright, I'm gonna make sure I get that level 2. And he got it. And then he's like, okay, Katarina roamed, I have the XP advantage, I'm gonna hit level 6 and try to bully Cat. And now we're seeing top lane. Swain is doing a lot of damage to Warwick, but Warwick is leading in the CS. And I've seen this happen a few times in lanes where one person is definitely winning the trades, but just not really paying attention to the CS. And unless you actually get the kill, it's not worth it because, okay, let's say you harass them and they recall, but they still have a 20 CS lead on you. They are going to come back, and all that harass you did doesn't mean anything, but they have a huge gold lead now. So you got to be very careful.
There is a preference on whether to get lane priority to shove versus actually CSing. Granted, if you could do both well, then that's
Yeah.
more preferable.
He's going in with the ult, heals up. Here comes the Echo with the teleport. Swain cannot heal fast enough. Echo picks up the kill.
That's how we teamwork. Get the suppress down, to have teleport time go in, and give a kill to the Echo. Both mid laners are 2-1, so they'll be looking to carry the team.
There's the route onto the Mundo. They're focusing Mundo. Twitch trying to put out damage, but he can't put it out fast enough. Just Draven's early game is so strong. Now he's getting exhausted. Draven going under tower, will back off, throw out the ult, picks up the double kill. Morgana had the dark binding just to make sure Twitch didn't get away. Timed it perfectly so that Draven's axes would hit first and therefore give him the chance for the kill.
Right, so the bot lane for Zaun is pretty weak right now, generally, in terms of scaling. Mundo is especially weak, 3-6, where all he could do is throw a cleaver. He doesn't have access to his ult, so he can't sustain. So it's pretty natural that to lose the trade.
Alright, so we haven't really seen any ganking from the Kled yet, or the Zac. Neither have gone for any ganks. They've been farming, and Zac's been out farming. And now Katarina, she puts down the ult, puts down the ignite. Echo, despite getting the stun, has to run because of that. And Zac tries to come in and help out, but he just can't stick onto Katarina. She'll get under tower.
Yeah, that was really well played by the Echo, being able to get the stun on. That was pretty perfect for getting a jungler gank off. Like, the enemy laner CC low, junglers love that, to take advantage of that.
So Warwick went in with the ult, but not able to kill the Swain with it, and now Swain's got the ult healing. Oh wait, he did.
No, there's the ult.
I thought he already used it. I guess I must have mistaken a different animation for that. Oh, Katarina! Oh man, that was such a close fight. Making use of the bush. Bushes are pretty OP. Kled trying to fight this work. He's 2 levels down, and he's about to lose Skarl. He realizes it's time to get out of there. Here comes Zac, though, top side. He is looking to make something happen. They're both level 6. I mean, this would be an interesting fight, but it doesn't look like Kled wants to fight it. I think he could have tried to. It's been a close fight either way, but he's going to play safe back off. Meanwhile, Draven just keeps picking on the poor Mundo and picks up another kill for himself. He's 3-0. How much gold has he gotten off of that adoration? It does not say.
A lot. He's about 2k up on Twitch right now.
I want to see like how much gold you get from adoration, but it doesn't really show you in spectate.
Well, overall, he's
Yeah, he's
clearly
got
way ahead.
Yeah. And now, Warwick goes in, but Kled has the ultimate to dash injury. He has to flash away because Warwick almost kills him. Meanwhile, mid lane, Katarina picks up a kill. And with Kled backing away, Swain just keeps on top of Warwick and takes him out. Nice teamwork. A nice job by Kled knocking Gray and trying to stick around. You'll see a lot of times someone will get low, back out, but then re-engage, try and take the kill for themselves and die in the process. Kled was smart there. Draven almost takes out the Twitch. He just barely manages to get away. Mundo flashed in so he can put Exhaust down and cut Draven's damage. That was a lot of summer spells burnt. They live, but they burnt all their summer spells. Well, actually, no, not the flash on Twitch.
Did they not? Alright.
Almost. They burnt 3 out of 4. Here comes the Zac. He'll go for the Morgana. She'll miss the Dark Binding. Zac putting out a lot of CC. Here comes Katarina, though. That's going to be the deciding factor. They got 3 people there, one of them being that fed Katarina. She picks up the kills.
Yeah, that's 10 stacks on the Dark Seal already.
Yeah.
Hope they go for a mid-ice.
Warwick going after the Draven. Draven flashing out. He goes after him. Katarina will finish him off. I would not consider that a worthwhile trade for the Warwick. Just because, like, yeah, you traded 1 for 1, but you gave Katarina yet more stacks.
I think he was hoping to finish off the Draven without expending his ult, instead of being able to ult the Katarina. But
That
Draven barely lives, so he got to go for it.
Yeah.
Alright, Random picks up shutdown gold. That's good for the ADC.
Definitely good, taking some stacks off of Katarina's Dark Seal. And then Kled trying to rapidly get Skarl back. Not quite able to, but he turns out he doesn't need to. He's able to live through the dragon. Now this is what I was...
The gold lead is at 2k. We're only 12 minutes in, so that's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
The most important thing to note is that the kills are on the people who you want the kills on. For
Yeah.
Noxus, you have 6 kills on Katarina, you have 4 kills on Draven. That's pretty powerful.
Yeah. At this point, the gold distribution is more important than the gold lead itself, and Noxus has both. Draven, oh my gosh, is he gonna go for the tower dive? Not quite. I was gonna say he's gonna be very cocky if he goes for the tower dive off of this. Mundo pops up, they're trying to get in there.
Oh, there's gonna be a echo.
This is a little bit overkill. 4 people to take down 1 person. 4-man gank to get 1 person.
Bot lane fiestas are the best.
Yeah. Mundo synergizes team.
Mundo right now is not very tanky. He has the Sightstone and the Targons. That's just a bit of health, no resistances. So we're not going to see the super tank Mundo for a very long time.
Yeah, that's what happens with tank supports in general. It's just you can't get those tanky items very early on because you're getting those early support items, and it takes a while for them to really be relevant.
I will say that the exceptions to that are Leona and Alistar, I guess.
Because they get some free tankiness in their kit.
Right.
Warwick really wants that swing. He will get it. Now he's going to fight the Kled. Meanwhile, we switch to bot side. Draven just putting out so much pain. Picks up the double kill. Mid lane, Katarina very low in health. Zac trying to take advantage of it. She has no tower to run to, but she will flash out of Q range. That'll get her away safely.
I didn't notice that the tower mid went down. So that's why the gold's so close, because they got first tower blood, I think. First break.
Yeah. That's the, gold on the tower plus that first blood bounty. Worth a decent amount. Finally, Noxus will respond with a tower of their own.
I think Warwick's doing a really good job. If you notice that there's been a lot of Kled ganks onto the top lane, but he's still able to draw pressure and continue to kind of go even. He almost trades kills.
And here's the fight. Twitch doing pretty well, but Draven, oh man, that is such a close fight. They kill each other. Mutually assured destruction. The camera switches to top side. Warwick, he dashes out of the never move. He does have ult though. He still has some time for that ult to come up, so he can't really stick to the fight. He's gonna back off. Meanwhile, though, Echo is rotating. Kled's gonna recall. This could be dangerous for Swain. But then again, everyone knows tower diving Swain is pretty dangerous. And if he can pop his ults before the Warwick ults him or the Echo stuns him, that would probably be enough where they wouldn't be able to kill him. As long as he just gets the ult off in time. Carrion will kill a little forward and then back away.
So it looks like Zaun's fallen pretty far behind. What do you think they need to do in order to come back into this game?
Oh, well, first let's see how this fight goes. Kled will get onto the work. They will very quickly taken out. But Echo, nice use of the ultimate. He gets very far away from everyone else. No one's going to actually bother chasing him. They don't really have vision in the jungle. They have no idea where he is, so they're not going to waste time looking for him. Pretty smart. They're going to shove that wave in. Alright, Mundo streamline operation and promote new initiatives at Inner Tower. Well, unfortunately, Mundo, that was the outer tower, not inner. So, here comes Zac. Katarina going in. She's putting a lot of damage on that little ball of goo. Oh, man. Scarl really aggressive. He wanted that kill. He went under tower. He's going to go down to the Echo. What is going to happen now? Katarina, she wants to fight, but here comes the Twitch. He stealthed in. She picks up the kill. Warwick ulting. He takes her down, and that is some stacks lost on her Dark Seal. I would call that worth 2 for 2, but they took off stacks from the Dark Seal, so a win for Zaun.
Yep. When you're behind, you always want to be able to Even if you trade evenly, that'll be a win for you.
Yeah.
Because it'll stall out the game long enough for you to hopefully catch up in items.
Yeah, it's you know, there's a number of things that go into, you know, when you're behind, what is a winning trade, and definitely you're behind and you trade evenly, that's a win for you. Twitch going in, trying to fight the Draven. He's putting a lot of damage. He will take him out. And now Zach, he has no damage. He cannot do this. He is not going to be able to get away. He has the passive. Will Mundo and Rex be able to save him? He'll pick up the kill onto the Draven. Wow, that was a lot of burst damage. And Zach lives. So,
Good job saving your teammate.
so yeah, you were talking for a second there. When you're behind, trading even is a win. Like you said, it stalls out the game. That's one thing. You know, if you trade 2 for 2, both teams tend to back off, so that gives you time to stall out. And then it also means, like, you know, as the game goes on, the later it is, the higher the gold amount. The gold difference doesn't really mean that much. It's like you can be 5k behind, but if you have 10k and you're 5k behind, or if you have 70k and you're 5k behind, those are very different things. So by just making the gold bigger in that even trade. Meanwhile, while I'm talking about that, there's a lot of action happening. Katarina going crazy. Echo missing the Q. He'll get the E. He'll get the kill.
Yeah, this shutdown gold, it might not seem like a lot, but
It does add up.
mean a lot.
That was the entire premise of the proxy Singe for a while, was you can kill Singe as many times as you want. That just means they're going to get really big bounties on the other people. That's why they had to change how the kill. Well, they had to change a number of things, like you know, because as you die, kills are worth less if you die a ton of times. They had to make it so that value would reset sooner.
Good bind by endgame, picking off the Twitch.
Gain it onto the Draven.
That's what you do as a support. You gotta set up your ADC.
And Noxus has double the kills, but only 3k in the lead. That is very good for Zaun. Like, the fact they're only 3k down despite Noxus having double their kills, 22 to 11, that's pretty huge.
Yeah. A lot of the gold comes from towers, and they're actually even in towers.
Yeah, and then you look at
each.
you look at the CS. Top lane works way ahead of the Swain, but then bot lane Draven's way ahead of Twitch. That kind of cancels out. Really, that gold. There's a little bit of gold lead in the jungle because of the Zac has that pretty decent CS lead there. But really, that gold's gotta be coming from those bounties they keep picking up on Katarina. That's why they're not falling so far behind. Katarina and Draven.
Echo might be. Like, Echo relative to Katarina is not that far behind. He's only like 800 gold behind. That's the equivalent of a Negatron cloak, maybe.
Yeah.
It's not a full item up.
Yeah, you look at the items they have. He has the Hextech Proto Belt, and then the Banshee's Belt. I get confused since they changed it. And so he has 2 items plus boots versus Katarina has 2 items. More offensive focus versus Echo's defensive focus. But now Warwick fighting the Swain. Swain just can't heal with Warwick's DPS output. He just can't keep up with it. Warwick takes him out.
Yeah, I am surprised, but now I learned that Warwick wins the 1v1 against Swain.
Not too surprising, honestly. Swain, he has decent 1v1 because of his healing, but he really shines in being able to, you know, just being a battle mage, just get into the middle of that fight, damaging everyone and healing off of everyone. That's where he really shines. The 1v1's not his specialty. Warwick it most definitely is his specialty. Here comes Echo. He does not get the stun kill. He goes with the Proto Belt. And yeah, he'll pick up the kill on Draven. Twitch will pick up Morgana. Nice job. Zaun is grouping up a lot sooner than Noxus. Noxus, like, it's 20 minutes in the game. Noxus was way up in kills, but they didn't group and try to force anything. And so they kind of just delayed out the lane phase, which isn't usually what you want to do. If you have the lead, you want to be like, okay, we have the lead. Let's do something with it. They never did, and Noxus is not the first one to make a move. Zaun is, and being the first one to make a move can be big. They get nice couple kills in the bot lane, they get a tower, and they make the gold lead basically negligible.
It's very refreshing to see Zaun come back. If you look at the kill distribution, like Noxus, it's where you want the kills to be. Echo, Twitch, and even Warwick. Warwick might go
Ooh,
down.
man, he might take out Katarina! Oh, man! Katarina cannot take on Warwick in a 1v1.
I think Katarina might be able to. It's really outplay potential. It's a skill-based matchup. And Mundo picking up a kill, also with Draven.
I gotta say, Katarina is doing great, but really, I was expecting a lot worse to be coming out of Evil Shadow and Katarina. So they've handled this Katarina very well, and Zaun is now ever so slightly, almost basically a negligible amount, but they are in the lead now. Swain is not going to fight Warwick. Looks like maybe something would happen there, but they both back off.
CLE. What does CLE stand for?
That's the, if anyone doesn't know, that is how we're like, in real life, we're at 2017 AD. Well, in the League universe, they're at 17 CLE. That's like their like way of measuring years. And basically means the League was made 17 years ago.
Oh, well, today I learned. Thanks.
Yeah. Common League era. It's referring to, it's been 17 years since the League was formed, and we're still in the Common League era. They're trying to catch out this Zac. They're chunking him, not quite able to finish him off, and then Twitch, with a ton of damage, will take out the Draven. Katarina picks up the revenge kill. Here comes Echo. He wants blood. Does not get the Katarina in the stun. Now he is outnumbered, and they're putting a lot of damage on him. He will go down. Zac trying to go in, but it's too late. He's by himself. Katarina, the tower, will just barely not kill her. And here comes the Warwick.
The Warwick just comes out of nowhere.
Led in trouble. He's going to go down, as will Morgana.
Oh my, that is 4 kills picked up.
Warwick is starting to become a monster, which, he is a monster, so it's very appropriate. I mean, Katarina seems to be incapable of killing Warwick. He is doing pretty well. Like, team fight time, they need to lock Warwick down. That's looking like the main threat to Katarina. And so she's going to need some
I'm pretty
CC
sure that
cover to
Noxus
win.
will win a team fight if they group up.
I don't know, just because like the team fight potential, it's like last game Noxus had way more team fight potential. This game, it's a lot closer. And Swain, oh man, he regrets that decision.
Draven doesn't though.
Swain just be like, you know what? Yeah, if it means giving Draven some gold, I'll call that worth. But like,
that was a risky Baron call. I think it would have worked out though had there not been a ward there.
Yeah.
So good job placing that ward, or whoever that was.
Yeah, and here comes the Kled followed by Katarina. Katarina picks up a kill. Kled, he'll lose Scarl, but he'll live. Now, it's what we were talking about, the team fight potential. Like, I'm not too sure Noxus has the better team fight at the moment. Gold dead even. They do have a very fed Katarina and a very fed Draven, which are good for their team fights. Katarina can put out a lot of AoE damage, kill a lot of people really quickly. Draven, we saw last game, can do a lot. That's good things for them. They have some decent team fight combo with the Kled engage, and Swain can follow up, get in the middle of that fight. Combo without Katarina, they have some good AoE damage, and they have the Morgana lockup, so that's some good teamfight combo. But then they're going up against Tank Town, the masters of the re-engage, which is very concerning because they can do a good job of staving off that initial engage with their tankiness, and then counter engage with Warwick hopping in, with Zac hopping in, with Echo diving in. And so
That is true.
it's like This is what Zaun excelled at back in Hextech, and we continue to see excel at throughout, you know, the intermission games they appeared in. Is they are a tank town, and they're great at the counter engage, the re-engage. Like you go in, you burn all those big cooldowns on that initial engage, but they have that big front line with all those tanks that just absorb it, and then they re-dive in, but they're able to dive in on your back line while you only hit the front line. So both teams have some very solid team fight. And I think it's going to come down to really who's better coordinated and on top of the positioning and rotations. That's going to have the better team fight time more than anything else.
Right. It really is a matter of skill right now.
Yeah.
Because the characters, the champs that are fed right now, Katarina, Draven, and then Echo and Twitch,
Warwick.
they all take a lot of skill to pull off. Warwick doesn't take too much skill though.
But he is the most fed on Zaun. You can't ignore that. He is the most fed. So you have to talk about. They make the Baron call. They need to swap off the Baron and quickly kill Zaun before Twitch gets there. And it looks like they're doing that. It's going through a lot of damage going on to the tanks, not killing that Echo. It's a very chaotic fight. I'm going to want to watch that in slow-mo so I can get all the details. But basically, yeah, Noxus didn't have the best focus because they were putting a lot of damage onto tanks and not the Echo. Echo was the only damage threat there. Warwick can do a little bit, but Echo was the main damage threat, and they didn't really focus him. And so that made the fight not as great as it could have been, considering it was a 5v4. But I'm going to back it up a little bit and try watch that in slow-mo so we can get the details. Just got to back it up a little bit. A little bit more. Let's see, come on.
Going on in live stream, they're just kind of backing up. Yeah,
All right.
that's it.
So
Everyone's resetting.
So, you know, Noxus going for the Baron. Here comes Zaun. They're about to go for the fight. So here goes Zac with the engage. Blocks up a lot of people, but there's no one really to follow up. Here comes Mundo and War. Warwick is focusing the swing, not the primary target they need to be worried about. Echo goes in, gets a nice stun, but mostly just knocks up the Kled. Katarina, no one's touched Katarina or Draven at this point. Let's see now. Morgana trying to channel her ultimate. And now here comes the re-engage from Noxus, but they're focusing the Mundo and Zac. Here comes Echo ult, puts a lot of damage down. Down goes Mundo and Zac. But the tanks are dead. They have the numbers advantage. Twitch is going to show up right about here. He puts in some good damage with his auto attacks. They're waiting around to kill the Echo. They're taking some Baron damage. And yeah, there it goes. That's going to be the fight. And we can just speed it up from there. We'll watch it in super fast mode now to catch up to real time. Hopefully we didn't miss anything too important. But yeah, that fight really came...
Mundo dying isn't too important.
Yeah.
just normal things.
Yeah. So really that fight, Noxus didn't play it that great, but Zaun just played it a little bit less great. And so Noxus comes out ahead. Pretty good win for them. Katarina will go down, here we see, and here comes the big engage. Warwick all by himself. He goes down. Echo popping that Zonia's gonna delay time. Zac gonna back off though, so he dies. That is a 3-for-1 trade. Basically, after they killed the Katarina, everyone needed to just back off, but people still kept going in. And now looking like a second attempt at Baron from Noxus.
Right. Good try. It was a nice attempt. You kill off the Katarina, but don't worry about the Draven as well. Output monstrous amounts of damage.
Now, I will say this. Oh wait, hold on. I guess it was from the rewind, but it messed up the lane matchups. Let me get these lane matchups fixed. So we have everyone where they're supposed to be. Come on. Move. There you go. There you go. Yeah, everyone's where we are. So I will say this. They have done a good job in the Katarina of... You know, she was not able to keep her Dark Seal stacked up, and so she never, you know, felt confident enough to turn it into a full-on Magi Soul Sealer, and now she sold the Dark Seal completely. If this was Evil Shadow on Katarina, and he felt confident enough to get that Magi Soul Sealer and got that thing max stacked, She would be killing people so quickly. She's already a huge threat, but with that, it'd just be unrealistic.
Engaged by the Zac.
They lost their Mundo, but there's no Katarina, and they're doing a good job. They're splitting the Noxian team up. They do trade 1 for 1, but here comes Katarina. Zac is not able to get out. And now they're picking off again. Yeah. So that initial fight, it looked like Noxus got split up a bit, but the problem is the way it got split up, the only person Zaun was able to focus down solo was the Swain. That's not quite the person they were hoping to separate. Swain, he's a mage, he can do some damage, but he's not the biggest threat. They really want to take out that Draven because Katarina wasn't there. But they only took out Swain, then Katarina showed up, and then Zaun just kind of needed to back off. But then like one person was like, covering the tower, other people were backing, they weren't on the same page, so they got picked off one at a time.
Right, I think Swain is doing a very, very good job acting as like a pseudo drain tank, being able to absorb a lot of the damage.
He's just like,
which leaves a lot of time for the Katarina and Draven.
He gets into the middle of that fight. It's just like, look at me, guys, look at me, Don't focus on the other carries, and yeah.
Do you think that they need to build like an Executioner's Calling to stop the swing?
Not really. I think more importantly, it's just they need to focus the Draven or Katarina, and so yeah, they can get an Executioner's Calling so they can kill Swain faster and then move on to other targets. But I think it'd just be better if they don't focus Swain at all. I mean, he's not that big of a threat right now. He could potentially become one if they outright ignore him. But that's kind of what they want to do anyways, just because they have such a big threat in the 2 other carries at the moment.
Right, so... Oh, they might be going in. Kled engage again.
He's giving a nice big speed boost. Swain flashing in. They're going to go for this. Draven is not there. He's going to throw his ult in. Or no, he won't. I thought he was going to. Well, oh man, this is going very chaotic. They're not quite able to focus down the Twitch. He's putting a lot of damage out with his ultimate, but Draven's pretty much untouched the entire fight. Twitch was able to put a lot of damage on a lot of people, but Draven was not one of them, and that really hurt Noxus. They will take out the Katarina, but that's it. Alright, I'm going...
Overall, they lose 4. They could end, possibly. They have a Draven.
Yeah. Let's see if they can end it. Draven's going to be not heading there at all. He's going for lane minions, so they're not going to end it here. I want to see if they get out, and then if after this, I'm going to want to back it up and take a look at that fight. They're going to catch out the Twitch. They will take him out, double rooted. And now they get the second tower. Yeah, if Draven was there, this game would have been ended by now because he would have killed the towers that much faster. But instead,
it's still auto attacks.
The super minions, yeah, it's still my end. Oh man.
Oh
Let's see.
We've got 3 defending.
This minions, the minions.
Minions, no.
Draven. Oh, it's just like no Draven, no. Oh, Draven. Like, you had the chance to be an MVP. I'm not sure who I would give the MVP to this point, but you've had enough impact where you had the chance to be an MVP, but now you have no chance because it's your fault that you didn't win right there. So, no MVP for Draven.
Maybe they didn't want to end it, They wanted to prolong the suffering of Zaun.
If Noxus is doing that, they're being quite stupid because you can't underestimate Zaun. They have shown that with ample evidence.
In the event, we get to the very, very, very late game where Mundo gets more tanky, where Twitch has more crit items, then I think Zaun will have a chance to potentially win a team fight.
I want to go back and analyze that last
like 20 minutes.
I want to go back and analyze that last team fight, but I didn't right after because it looked like it could be the end of the game. I wanted to see if it would end or not. And now so much time has passed, it's like I have to rewind quite a bit. So I don't think I will, but looked like that fight was, Noxus, they all got low, but no one died. There wasn't a ton of focus. And Draven wasn't focused at all. And so it's like they didn't focus the Draven, which they desperately needed to. Katarina, they did get to a kill on, but she kind of did her work. She could have done more, she stayed alive, but she had done enough work in the fight, so they didn't kill her fast enough. So
yeah, I was watching the Katarina throughout the fight because that's normally it's a habit. You just watch those damage dealers. They could be going in 4v5.
They're gonna pick off this Zac here, and yeah, he's gonna live. But I doubt he'll get past the little puddle phase, but he'll die shortly after. Echo going in, he's not gonna be able to do anything. Oh, maybe I might have spoken too soon. That ult did a lot of damage to Katarina. He will go down. Draven, he's taking on 3 members solo. Not really sure why he decided to stay up there by himself. Switch will pick him off.
I don't know if they could finish though. It'll be a 3v3 right now since Swain's going back. Yeah, they could win if they could end the game here if Swain's with them. Right now it's a possibility. Katarina going in. Endgame getting the stun by.
Mutually assured destruction. Warwick is has the most damage out of everyone there at the moment. But he is in a 1v2, and the Scarl comes back. That's why you hate Kled. It's just like, you almost kill him, and then he gets it, like, 90% of his health bar back out of nowhere.
Why is Warwick still alive? Alright, he goes down, but now Zac comes in to 1v3.
Warwick is scary, he has a lot of healing. They're gonna... Because Warwick took so long to kill...
They don't have damage.
Yeah, it's like their damage dealers are not there. They have 2 damage dealers. Swain, he's the drain tank. He's not putting out enough damage to be that ready. He is doing decently against Echo, but he realizes he's out of mana, so he backs off. Yeah, so I gotta say, big props to Warwick. They're just taking so long to kill. Otherwise, they would have gotten the inhibitor and started pounding on that Nexus and possibly ended the game. If he had not...
They could be looking for a Baron, potentially.
I
will say that was a...
Go for it.
Oh yeah, go.
Okay, so basically I'm just going to say is, what Noxus can do is just bluff a Baron. Just put up wards around Baron, and then head towards it. If Zaun comes to you, just keep them fighting you at the Baron pit, because you have super minions pushing down mid lane with no Nexus towers. They can end that game in a second, those super minions.
ADC 1v1, mutually assured destruction right there.
Yeah, it's very nice to see that. So, yeah, that's a... What's that telling you about the ADCs? It means they're both batshit crazy. Oh, Katarina going in. Echo taking a lot of damage. Popping the Zonias. Gets the stun, but can't really do anything off of it. He's going to hop over. He still dies. Here comes Warwick. Here comes Mundo. They're focusing on the Kled, though. Katarina. Oh, here comes some help from Zac. Organa trying to help out. Here comes Swain. This is turning from a little skirmish to a full-on team fight. Everyone's involved. But Noxus is getting out the damage faster. I mean, yeah, it was... Twitch and Draven were both not there. ADCs cancel out, and so it becomes, who else is left to carry? Well, for Zaun, it's Warwick and Echo. For Noxus, it's Katarina, and Echo got killed before the fight really kicked into full gear, and so they just have Warwick, and Katarina's just going to put out a lot more damage than Warwick does, and now this is going to be the game.
Yep, looks like that's the game.
Game 2 goes to Noxus. That'll put today at 1-1.
Very well played by both sides, but in the end, Noxus came out on top with a superior fighting.
Yeah. So, I think a couple key things to that game. I might have slightly underestimated the combo of Noxus teamfight, because they did have some good synergy in the teamfight. I mentioned that, but I kind of didn't think it was that potent, but looked like it was actually pretty decent. The Mundo, or not the Swain AoE, the Morgana ultimate, the the Katarina AoE and just constant dashing, doing a lot of damage. It was a pretty solid combo, really good damage combo that they were able to pull off, which I kind of underestimated against the Zaunite, team fighting, just having a lot of tanks and good re-engage. It was a pretty good combo in the team fights that turned out better than I thought it would. So there was that, and then also it was the dual threat. It was consistently a dual threat from Noxus the entire game. It was always Katarina, Draven. Katarina, Draven. You have to kill both as fast as possible, or they will win the team fight for their team. That was a constant thing that they were able to keep up. Okay, you kill one, the other still lives, and they were able to pull that off very well. Whereas Zaun, they weren't able to really get that going. It's like Echo was doing good at the start, but he didn't. He wasn't able to keep up that high level of just keep getting kills, keep staying ahead, keep being a huge threat. He still was a threat, but he just wasn't able to stay big enough for in the long term. And so it was mostly just Twitch. Twitch was kind of it. Echo was backup, but not nearly on the same level. And so it was take out Twitch, you win for Noxus. For Zaun, it's take out Katarina and Draven, which they weren't able to do most of the time.
Yep, that sums it up very well. Any thoughts on MVPs?
Well, let me think here. So, it's a tough one. I mean, you can always say, Evil, 27 kills, that's good. And then you could also look at, they had some good Kled engages. He struggled in lane, but it ultimately didn't affect his teamfight impact at all. Even though he had a really tough time in lane, his teamfight impact was not hampered in the slightest. He still did his job. He was still the tank. He still had the initiation they wanted, which was good, and that was impressive. He had the bot lane, which was awesome. We saw a number of nice picks from the Morgana that helped him out. And then Swain, like we were talking about, was the very nice, drain tank that was a big distraction in number 5. Was like, yeah, focus me, you'll kill me, but then Draven's just going to be like, haha, I'm throwing axes the entire time and killing your team. And so it was all really nice performance all around on Noxus. But I did say Draven is disqualified because they could have ended the game 10 minutes sooner if not for him.
Okay.
So Draven disqualified. With him out of the picture, I'm going to give it to Morgana because she did a nice job of not dying, and like I said, all of them have a very good impact on their team. They all did a really good job helping their team out and just fighting correctly. But Morgana did it without dying, so I'll give it to her.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna pick Morgana also. Least amount of deaths, most assists.
Yeah.
In the end, there was the really good bind ult combo onto the enemy ADC. So yeah, endgame. This one's for you, MVP. Congrats.
Not to mention the highest kill participation in the game. She was involved in 42 out of 57 kills. That's impressive. Have that high of kill participation. Alright, now for Zaun. I'll let you take the first one on Zaun so I have time to think.
Alright, for Zaun, I think mid was doing well early on. Getting a kill on Katarina, first blood, keeping up generally. Top was doing well and exerting pressure, being able to turn around 1v2 ganks, but was able to catch up. They eventually caught up, right? And then jungle had some nice ganks, right? I don't really know, though, if there's one outstanding player on Zaun, to be honest. Plus, I have a lot of bias because there's the Legends, Cupcake Trap for it. That factors in also.
We just say history. Cupcake Trap because Cupcake Trap?
Am I allowed to say Cupcake Trap because Cupcake Trap?
You're allowed to say whatever you want. It's a free country.
For it.
You'll say for it?
I have a lot of respect for the dude.
Okay.
Because it's for it.
Alright, so for it because for it. Alright. So for my MVP, here's my thinking here. I see, the big threat from Twitch was impressive, but unfortunately he didn't have the best start, and that slowed down his impact, made it hard for him to get in there. And then there were a couple team fights where he was able to get a really nice rat-tat-tat and just hit like 3 or 4 people on Noxus with every auto attack. But really, though, he wasn't able to get it on the people that mattered because he wasn't able to really kill people fast enough in a fight. He got it off, but it was hitting the Swain, the Kled, and the Morgana, and it's like, yeah, it's great they're hitting 3 people, but you're not hitting the Katarina and the Draven, which are the 2 main people you had to worry about. So, he had a really good impact, but just not quite out there for the MVP level just because of that. Echo, I'm tempted to give it to because, it's really hard to estimate how big Cat could have gotten if it weren't for the early pressure he put on her. He didn't have the biggest effect late in the game, but that early pressure that he did to slow down Katarina, it's really hard to calculate how big that was because we don't know for sure how big Evil Shadow could have gotten if he wasn't slowed down at the start. So that's hard to calculate. So I'm tempted to give it to him, but I feel like I have to give it to the Warwick because early game he was winning in CS against the Swain, despite getting a lot of pressure from the Kledge ganking top lane, and he still was trading even in the kill department. So he's trading even in kills, but staying ahead in CS and pulling pressure top. And then he was consistent throughout the entire game. It was like Echo was a star early on, kind of fell off late. Twitch was, not doing so great early game, became a star at the late game. But Warwick's just consistently doing good, and so that consistency was big. Plus, he was, very hard to kill. The fact that he was hard to kill really helped a couple points in terms of stalling, saving their Nexus, because if Warwick had been able to die quicker, they would have killed the inhibitor and then gone for Nexus and ended it right there. And I feel like it was just his consistency. I think I have to give him the MVP.
All right, sounds good.
Yep. All right. There you have it. That will be game 2, and we'll start up game 3 in a couple minutes. And hey, wouldn't you know it, it's about time game 3 is supposed to be ending. That we're going to be starting it, but that's actually kind of normal for us, unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, stick around, guys. Game 3 will be open to everyone. I'll be making a second, and yeah, should be a lot of fun.